Namaste and welcome to Alpha Mind Power channel. Today we are going to talk about one very important topic which seems to be very prevalent nowadays, which is divorce. And this video is particularly for men. Of course, women can definitely watch it. I'm speaking on your behalf only, but it is made mainly for men to understand what is happening. Today we are seeing this word divorce coming up again and again and again, not only in the social media but also in the lives of people whom we know. And of course, social media is influencing people a lot, especially the celebrity divorces are influencing a lot of people. But let us now try to understand why this is happening so much. Of course, there are many reasons, many people are talking about it. There's one perspective which I thought I will also bring up: how a man can avoid a divorce in his family. Because most of the time, particularly if it is after a number of years, now when a couple gets married and within a few months they feel that they are incompatible and they go for a divorce, that's a different kind of issue. I'm not talking about that now. Today we are going to discuss about a divorce which comes up, or the thought of a divorce which comes up maybe after 25-30 years of marriage, and mainly when it comes from the woman. Mostly that's what we are seeing today. At the age of 45, 50, 55, a woman is asking for a divorce because she says, I've been doing so much for him all my life, now I want to call quits. I'm done. I want to be away from him. I don't want to look at this man. Why does this happen? Has the man ever understood what exactly is running in the wife's mind, or what is making her come to this conclusion? Most of the time the answer is no. Most of the men do not understand what is happening in the woman's mind, and that is why many times when the woman asks for a divorce, the man is almost bewildered. He says, everything was going well. I have met many people like that. I have counseled people who say, ma'am, everything was okay. She was also going to work. I'm going to work. We are doing well. 2 children are there. They are also studying well. And my mother, father are there. It's all, everything is normal. Why did she suddenly come to this conclusion? Now here, this video is to help men to understand how to deal with this. It's more for them. Now let us, very briefly, I will bring to you what goes on in a woman's mind in different phases of life. It's not that you do not know, but many men have not understood this properly. That's why. Now the first phase is when a woman gets married. It creates a very big change, a very big complete change in situation, in circumstances in a woman's life, whether it is a joint family or an independent nuclear family. If it's a joint family, it's not only about understanding and adjusting with the husband. If it's an arranged marriage, it's also adjusting with the parents-in-law, it's adjusting with maybe the brother-in-law, sister-in-law, whoever else is there in the house. So all that takes a little bit of time. If it's a nuclear family that they are thinking of, then also for the lady, till then she would have been living with her parents. In the Indian houses, that's how it is, and the entire responsibility of running a house would never have been on her head. Even though she is capable, that's a different thing. But when she gets married and it's a nuclear family, then she has to think of everything that is required in the house. So it takes some time to adjust. Then if it is a working woman, then even more, the burden is even more, because finding that balance between work and home and making things work in both places, it's not a joke, but most of the women manage it. Now when this happens, maybe for a few months or sometimes even a year or so, or a couple of years, then the next stage is pregnancy, which again brings in a lot of change in the woman's body, woman's mind. She becomes a little emotional. She's going through a lot of phases and lot of fears. Everything is there. So she's busy with that, how to come back to shape after delivery and how to go back to work, how to manage the kid. There are so many things to think about. So the woman is again absolutely engrossed with all that is happening. Then it is again, she becomes busy with bringing up the children. If there are 2 children or 1 child, if she's a working woman, then it's even more. In the morning, getting the child ready to go to school, or children, then she has to go. Even if the lady is at home, all these things, making sure the child studies well and goes to school on time, this, that, then husband is also happy. Everything takes a lot of effort and time. And the wife is, the woman is going through all this. Then after a few years, there comes that important phase when the children grow up and they become quite big. They are able to look after themselves. See, most of the time now we are coming across this word divorce from a woman when she is 45, 50, 55 years old. And there is a new term for that, which is grey divorce. They call it grey divorce. Now when it comes from a woman like that, at let's say 45 years, then children must be at least 20 years. And if she is 50, then children must, one of them might be married also. So if it is an only child, girl child, and the girl gets married and goes off, then suddenly there is a void in the woman's mind. She suddenly feels, now there's nobody who needs me in the house. Children also have grown up. They've all started, they've found their own life or their career or whatever. What am I doing in the house? If it is a working woman, then at least the daytime goes off in the office. But if she's not working, then she's at home and the routine continues. She starts feeling, there is a void, there is an emptiness in me. The nest is empty. Metaphorically, the nest is empty. Children have left and husband is busy with his work. But suddenly she starts feeling very different. She starts feeling very unsure about herself. There's an uncertainty in her mind. What is life going to be after this? What am I going to do? All those questions come. And at this point of time, when she's above 40, 45, 50, that time, most of the women undergo the pre-menopause stage. See, what is pre-menopause stage? Menopause happens anytime after 40 generally. Let's say at least 45. But pre-menopause stage is something which starts a few months or a few years earlier for a woman. Again, it is just like the PMT that a woman faces, goes through just before periods every month. Before periods every month also for a woman, there is the premenstrual tension, we call it PMT, which means she undergoes a lot of emotional stress, physical stress. Everything is little difficult for her. She suddenly gets angry, suddenly loses control. All that happens. Some women get headaches. Some women have different kinds of problems, other problems. But once the period, the menstrual cycle begins, the periods come, then she becomes all right. This happens every month. But when it is menopause, when the periods are about to stop, then also the whole body is undergoing a complete shift in the hormones, complete shift in many other ways. And the body is trying to adjust to it, the mind is trying to adjust to it. And what this results in a lot of emotional stress for the woman. So she loses control of herself. She starts crying sometimes. She becomes angry sometimes. And all her anger gets directed towards the husband most of the time. In one case which I came across recently, there was a woman she was talking about it after it happened, after a few years. So she said when her child was about 2 to 3 years old, immediately after that, this lady had her menopause, which happened for her very early in her 30s itself. For some reason. And at that time, before her menopause actually happened, she is now recalling. She was telling me, she said, I used to get so angry with my child. She was so tiny, just 3 years old, but 2.5, 3 years old. She said, for small things, I used to get so angry and scream at her at the top of my voice. And she said, my husband used to get so put off with me. Why are you screaming like a big devil? You're almost looking like that. He used to tell her. So she said all that stage, after some time when the menopause actually happened, and then the doctor made me understand that I've started, menopause has happened for me, which was unexpected. Then after some time, she said everything became a little better. She wouldn't say normal, she said better. I became a little peaceful. Now she says after 7-8 years, and the child is now 10-11 years old. She said, looking back, I can understand what made me shout at that child so much. Today I am so calm and quiet, but I am still wondering whether the child is holding all that anger which I showed on her in her heart. And how will I ever be able to rectify it? I don't know, she was saying. Now, this happened for this lady, and her anger got diverted towards the child. But in many women's cases, the anger gets diverted towards the husband. It gets focused on the husband. Already there would have been so much suppressed anger, but now it becomes too much. Every small thing becomes very big. And why I am explaining all this is, see, in our house, if we have a daughter, even before she starts menstruating, we explain everything to her. We tell her what is going to happen, how she should take it, how she should be very brave, and it is a normal thing. All that we tell her. But in the same house, if there is a boy, we don't even tell the boy what is happening to his sister. So he never gets to understand. Then he suddenly gets married and wife tells him, I've got my periods. He doesn't know what it means. Still, many men are like that, believe me. Some men educate themselves. Today there are many ways in which you can just read and understand what's happening to a woman when she gets her menstrual cycle. But still many men are not well advised. They do not know. That is why I am talking about all this. This video is meant for men so that you understand emotionally what happens to the woman. Now, when this pre-menopause stage starts and the woman she focuses all her anger on her husband, what happens in her mind is that burst of emotions, and then she starts thinking of all the wrong things that he did, small mistakes that he did. Sometimes maybe there was an affair also. She thinks about, she would have forgotten it at that time. She would have they would have reconciled. But now it all comes back and she is not able to control herself. So she looks at this husband and says, I don't even want to look at his face. And the best way is to divorce. Get rid of him, go somewhere, do something. She may not even be thinking about what she's going to do after getting a divorce from him. The same life which she's leading now, she's going to be on her own, that's all. But she's not going to do anything exciting or different. Most of the women, I'm not talking about some exceptional women who do certain things. We are talking about the normal people. So that much anger can be because of the pre-menopause stage also. So if the husband becomes aware of this, then what you should do to avoid the word divorce, how you can handle this. Most of the men first of all cannot understand what's happening. In fact, nobody understands. Even the woman herself does not understand many times or most of the time that she's undergoing the pre-menopause stage. But if the husband does understand, that will be a big positive thing. So what you can do is, if you feel that maybe this is what she's going through, see, any woman after 40, above 40, it could be this very easily. And this pre-menopause stage runs for years, they say. So then you don't know when exactly it starts. So if you feel that maybe it is this, maybe you can take her to a doctor. Doctor can definitely advise you in a better way. But then otherwise, if you can't do that, if there is not enough reason to go to a doctor, then if you feel that maybe your wife is suddenly becoming very difficult to manage and she's started thinking of separating and going and living somewhere and all that, the one thing that she needs from you is tolerance, which most of the men at that time they don't have. They start thinking everything is going normally. Why is she suddenly like this? So instead of reacting like that, if you can just make her sit down or take her out somewhere, show her that you care for her and just tell her that I am there for you. That one sentence is very important. If you tell her that I am there for you, whatever you need, you tell me, we will take care of it. What is your difficulty? Why are you shouting? Why are you getting angry? It is all affecting all of us in the house. If you talk like that, then I won't say the pre-menopause stage will suddenly disappear. No. But the woman there in question may understand the mistake that she is making by becoming, throwing her emotions around. And she may be able to get a better control over her emotions, her behavior, her health, etc. And another thing the husband should do, the man in the house should do is, if you have grown-up children, the grown-up children also may not understand that this lady is going through this. And if you have parents, elderly parents, they also may not understand what's happening to the woman. So make everyone aware of it. And ask them all to be very supportive. Ask them to be more, I would say, not patient, but more affectionate towards your wife. So as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter-in-law, if she starts receiving all this care and affection from people at that time, then that void is something she may not feel. And that uncertainty also might go from her mind. And she may feel that no matter what happens, my family is there for me. My husband is there, my in-laws are there, my children are there. They are all standing by me. If that feeling comes, then the word divorce will not come in her mind at all. So the best way to avoid divorce is not wait till it happens. No. Even before that, keep this one reason, because many people are talking a lot about the divorce cases that we are coming across today, and they are quoting various reasons, but I thought this is something which I did not come across anywhere. That's why I'm talking about it, because this pre-menopause stage in a woman's life is very difficult to understand first of all. So that could be another reason leading to her asking for a divorce. So if you become aware of it as a man, I think if you want to avoid the divorce, this is what you should keep in mind and handle it accordingly. So that will definitely be more helpful.